Welcome to the Amphibian Press podcast. I'm Sara, and with me today is Roxanne San Jose. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we're talking a little bit about your sort of speculative fiction, romance, time travel. So would you just give us a little synopsis of that?
Basically, time travel is about Angie Thompson, who invented a time machine, but accidentally her boyfriend, John Salvador, transported in 1970. So it's up to her to find him. There's a lot of conflict and a lot of stories involved with friendship, love, and dedication in the story.
I love that. And I love that she's the one who's like rescuing him as opposed to vice versa.
Because I know, because she's also the inventor of it. Smart girl, actually.
I always like female scientists.
Yeah. I wish I was her. I wanted to invent a time machine and just go everywhere.
I know, just visit all the places.
Yes.
So what was your inspiration for time travel?
Basically, when I was reading a book and I was like, hey, what if I can write one?
I always love that. Like, what if I put my twist on it?
So I know, right?
So, like, time travel as a science is really complicated to write. I would never dare to do it because, you know, there's the changing of the timelines. Yeah. So what was your biggest challenge when you were writing it?
Basically, how to do a time machine, because I have to research a lot of mechanics, and also the year 1970 was what this looks like to be in 1970. I remember writing it. I have to do research on pictures and write there's a military base in 1970 in the States. So a lot of research in that year.
That's why I always do mine places that don't exist, so I don't have to do the research.
I know, especially the time machine. I mean, we don't have a time machine yet, so I have to do a lot of mechanic research, how to like a shape of a time machine and what buttons to write about it.
So do you have any plans to make this a series at all? Because it seems like you could sort of keep going with it.
No, I'm not going to make it a series.
So you also write fantasy, so that's sort of like your speculative fiction, time travel is. And then your fantasy is Anagram, and that was your first book, correct?
Yeah, it was a self-published first book in 2015.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that one as well?
Yeah, of course. It's about countries fighting for islands.
And the different islands have different resources, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's like a true story base that turns into a fiction. What happens in the Philippines when they were fighting for Spratly Islands, like China and Vietnam. So I make it into a story.
I like that. Drawing from the history for sure.
Yes.
So you came to the U.S. when you were 13, correct?
Yes.
So how does your childhood in the Philippines shape your writing and your characters?
Basically, being with my cousins and loving my country, because in my first book, that was the story. And the second book, you know, I wrote about everything about friendship there. And it gives me inspiration that how much I spend time with my cousins.
Are you able to visit often or?
Yes, I do. Very fortunate once a year. So I'm going to be with my mother next year.
That's lovely. I love that sense of community, because I feel like that's something, even though we have all these connections with like the internet and whatnot, it's sort of a lack of really close community, especially when it comes to like your community at home. So.
Yeah. I love the Philippines so much, you know, the culture, the language, and your family is there. It's priceless being there.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So what made you pick sci-fi and fantasy as your genres?
Basically, I just want to make the story interesting. So that's why I picked those two genres. I want it to be, you know, different from authors. That's why for me, that's how a story should stand out. Being different and being creative to people to attract your story.
So this is sort of a fun question that I've seen kind of floating around a lot lately. What does success mean to you, and what's like your biggest dream as an author?
Being successful for me is doing what makes you happy and content with it. And what's my biggest dream to an author, to just continue writing and inspire people to my reading.
I love it's like how inspiring different authors can be. I was just talking to my mom today about when you first see a character who you really connect with on a certain level, and you have that moment of like, oh, that's me, I'm not alone, and how important that is.
And yeah, I agree with you, and how they change your life, and how you're gonna see yourself into that character. Like, I want to be that character.
Mm-hmm. Yes, seeing the potential that you can actually have.
Yes.
In keeping with that, when was the first time you saw yourself as like a character in a book?
In my book, I always wanted to be Anjali Thompson because she's really, really smart. I want to be good in science. So that's Anjali Thompson is something that I wanted to be with. And she's named after me because my first name is Roxanne Anjali. So I picked Anjali Thompson. So I want to be her.
I know, it's sort of like living vicariously. Like, I'm stuck here in this time period. So,
Yeah.
So you found us through Smith Publicity and through the internet, and we love Smith. But out of curiosity, how have you enjoyed working with them? Just because I know a lot of authors also listen to our podcast.
Basically, I just love working with people who inspire other people and helping each other. I think that's great about in the authors community, that we help each other.
Yeah, there's
instead
some
of
great
compete with each other.
I know, we're all on the same team.
Yes, we are.
So what are you working on right now? What's your next project coming up?
Basically, I'm promoting my second book right now, and hopefully write my third book really, really soon.
Do you what do you have going for the third book? Do you have any ideas yet? Or
no, not yet, because I'm still studying, doing researching. But I love to write something to do with romance.
That definitely always adds to it.
Yes.
So where can people find you online and whatnot if they want to follow your work?
Basically, they can follow me on Twitter. It's www.twitter.com/sjroxanne. On Facebook, they can search Roxanne San Jose, or facebook.com/Roxanne A San Jose. Instagram.com Roxanne_San Jose.
We'll definitely put all the links in the show notes for people, for sure. So your book is on Kindle, and it's also on paperback, correct?
Yes, paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Kuber, and Matchwords.
And are you doing any events coming up where people can find you?
I'm doing like in 2 weeks a book club, so they can always come there. It's in West Sahara, and Uplift Book Club, 7 p.m. I promoted everything.
We'll put that info in there as well.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the publishing company that you're working with.
Advil Publishing is awesome. They did my book cover. They also edited and proofread my book. So they're really awesome. I love them so much. They're very easy to communicate with. So thumbs up.
Did you find them through querying or through like a pitch contest or something?
Internet search, and I searched them based on the genome of my book, which is science fiction, and after that everything is history. I got my acceptance letter, and I was like, yay, over the moon. So yeah, that was it. I was very happy for my acceptance letter. Every time I said that to an interview, acceptance letter, I go, yay.
I know, it's usually such a journey, like a zillion rejection letters.
Yeah.
It just takes one. It just takes one yes. If you were to give advice to any aspiring authors out there, what would it be? Like the top 3 things you've learned?
Number 1, be creative, because that's what makes you stand out in an author. Hard work. Second is hard work, because without hard work you will not go to any places. And number 3, be patient, because rejections and that's all. Rejection happens, and that's part of life. Just learn from it.
And the market changes so much, even just like day to day, that you really have to just like be patient and see what's coming down the line.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know. Inquiring agents takes a lot of patience, because it takes them, I don't know, when I was doing that on my first book, days or weeks. for them to respond, and you're not sure if you're gonna get accepted or rejected. So it's about being patient. And someday, someday, a month or a year, you're gonna get accepted. So be patient about your work. It's fine. You're doing great.
Yeah, that's what we really need to hear. Keep going. You're doing all right. Keep going. Well, I think that's about it. And thank you so much for joining us. And definitely keep us posted on what's going on with you and what new work that you're starting.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Sara. You're awesome.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, definitely thanks for finding us. So this has been the Amphibian Press podcast, and with me today was sci-fi and fantasy author Roxanne San Jose.